Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the world falling away, leaving only the sound of your own breath and the faint, rhythmic pulse of a distant, frozen sea. Tonight, we are traveling north, far beyond the reach of flickering city lights, to a place where the map ends and the mystery begins. We are going to the Arctic, a realm of eternal white, where the air is so cold it crackles like glass, and the silence is so heavy it feels like a physical weight against your chest. For centuries, we looked at this vast icy wasteland and saw only a barrier, a beautiful deadly void. But lately, the ice has begun to whisper. It is retreating, pulling back its heavy blue-white curtains to reveal secrets that have been locked in a dark, pressurized embrace for millions of years. Imagine standing on the edge of a massive ice shelf, the wind whipping fine, crystalline snow into the air. Beneath your boots lies a mile of solid ice, but beneath that lies a ghost world. A world of shadows and deep, ancient water that hasn't been touched by the wind for an eternity. Imagine the explorers of old, men like Franklin or Ross, standing on their wooden ships, looking at the Great White North with a mixture of terror and awe. They saw a wall, they saw an ending, but if they could have looked through the ice, if they could have seen what lies 2 miles beneath the surface, they would have realized they were standing on the roof of a hidden cathedral. Recently, we have begun to pierce that roof. Scientists have sent specialized cameras, glowing like small stars, down through narrow boreholes. As the camera descends, the ice changes color, from a bright, sun-kissed white to a deep, translucent turquoise, and finally to a black so profound it feels like the beginning of time. Down there, in the absolute dark, they found life where life should not be. Imagine the shock of the researchers sitting in a warm tent on the surface, staring at a monitor, when a tiny translucent crustacean darted across the screen. How must it feel to be a creature born in a world of total darkness, beneath a ceiling of ice 1,000 feet thick? There is no sun to guide you, no seasons to mark the passing of years, only the slow, rhythmic vibration of the earth itself. They found fish with skin as clear as glass, their internal organs visible, pulsing slowly in the freezing brine. It is a reminder that life is stubborn. It is a flame that refuses to be extinguished, even by the weight of a continent. But it isn't just life that the ice hides. It is memory. Deep within the Greenland ice sheet, researchers recently discovered a lost landscape. This wasn't just a collection of rocks. They found frozen soil, actual dirt, that contained the remains of moss, twigs, and the tiny armor of ancient insects. Imagine how those plants must have felt during their final autumn, millions of years ago. The air grew colder, the first snow fell and didn't melt, and then more followed, and more, until a forest was buried under a mile of crystal. That forest is still there. It is a green dream held in a blue tomb. When scientists thawed a small sample of that ancient mud, the smell of damp earth filled the lab, a scent that hadn't existed on this planet for nearly 3 million years. As you drift deeper into your pillows, let your mind sink through those layers of time. Feel the pressure of the day lifting as we descend into the quiet. Each layer of ice we pass is a year of human history. We pass the year you were born, the year the first aeroplanes took flight, the year the pyramids were built. We go deeper, past the age of mammoths, down to a time when the Arctic was a lush, temperate paradise. Can you see the giant sequoias that once grew where the North Pole is now? Can you hear the wind through their needles? The ice has kept these memories safe for us, cradling them in a frozen embrace, waiting for the moment we were ready to listen. There is a strange comfort in this permanence. The world above is fast and loud, but the world beneath the ice is patient. It does not hurry. It moves in geologic time. Lately, we have found massive canyons hidden under the ice, larger than the Grand Canyon, carved by ancient rivers that have been silent for eons. Imagine a river that hasn't flowed for 4 million years, a valley that hasn't seen a shadow. It is a landscape of pure potential, waiting for the sun to find it once again. Think of the Ghost Mountains, the Gamburtsev Range in Antarctica, but mirrored by similar hidden structures in the north. These are peaks as high as the Alps, completely encased in ice. They have sharp ridges and deep valleys that have never been eroded by wind or rain because they are protected by their frozen shroud. If you were to stand on those peaks, you would be standing in a world that is perfectly preserved, a snapshot of the Earth from before the Great Ice Age. How many secrets are tucked into those valleys? How many fossils of creatures we have never named are resting there in the quiet, blue dark? The ice is not just water, it is a library. Every snowflake that fell thousands of years ago trapped a tiny bubble of air, a sample of the atmosphere from that exact moment. When we breathe today, we are breathing a world that is changing, but the ice holds the breath of the ancestors. It holds the air of the time when the air was pure and the world was young. To touch the ice is to touch the past. To listen to the ice is to hear the heartbeat of the planet slowed down to a rhythmic, frozen throb. As you feel your body becoming heavy, like the ice itself, imagine the vastness of this hidden realm. It is a kingdom of silence. There are lakes down there, subglacial lakes like Vostok or Lake Mercer, that have been sealed off from the rest of the world for 15 million years. These lakes are liquid, kept from freezing by the immense pressure of the ice above and the warmth of the earth below. They are the most isolated places on Earth. If there is life in those waters, it has evolved in total solitude, a separate branch of existence that knows nothing of us. Imagine a drop of water in that lake. It has been there since before humans walked upright. It is old, it is still, and it is peaceful. The Arctic is revealing these things to us now because it is changing. The last ice area is thinning, and as it does, it tells us stories of its youth. It tells us of the time when the sea was open and the whales sang different songs. It tells us of the ships that were claimed by the pack ice, ships like the HMS Terror and Erebus, which sat in the darkness for over 150 years before being found, their brass fittings still shining in the murky depths. Imagine the silence in those cabins, the way the currents gently moved the tattered remains of sails, like ghosts dancing in a ballroom of silt. We are travelers in this story, drifting over the surface of a great mystery. The bed beneath you is your ship, and the blankets are the heavy snow that keeps you warm. You are safe. You are drifting. The world beneath the ice is a place of deep rest. And as we continue our journey, you find yourself sinking into that same ancient stillness. The ice is heavy, the water is dark, and the story is only just beginning to unfold in the silence of the night. Every mile of the Arctic seafloor we map reveals something new. Hydrothermal vents that spew black minerals into the freezing water, creating chimneys where strange, heat-loving bacteria thrive. It is a paradox. Fire beneath the ice. It reminds us that even in the coldest, most desolate places, the earth is alive and warm at its heart. Just as you are warm and safe now, even as the world outside grows cold and dark. The secrets are coming to the surface, one bubble at a time, one grain of sand at a time. The ice is exhaling, and as it breathes, we learn who we are and where we came from. We see the resilience of the world. We see that nothing is ever truly lost. It is only waiting to be found. Let the thought of the vast blue ice fields carry you away. Imagine the aurora borealis dancing over the white horizon, green and violet ribbons of light that reflect off the snow. But remember, the real magic is what lies beneath the quiet, the history, and the deep, eternal peace of the world under the ice. You are part of that peace now. You are sinking, drifting, falling into the white silence. The ice is a guardian. It has kept the Earth's secrets for millions of years, and as you sleep, it guards your dreams too. There is no rush. There is only the slow, steady pulse of the tide beneath the flows. You are safe. You are still. You are deep within the story of the ice. Now that we have descended through the heavy, blue curtains of the surface, we find ourselves in a place that defies every rule of nature we thought we knew. Imagine, miles beneath the crushing weight of the polar ice sheet, there are lakes. Not frozen blocks of ice, but liquid water. Vast, dark, and still. This is the kingdom of the subglacial lakes. Places like Lake Vostok and Lake Mercer. Bodies of water that have been cut off from the light of the sun, the touch of the wind, and the breath of the atmosphere for over 15 million years. Try to visualize the scale of this isolation. When these lakes were last exposed to the open sky, the world was a different place. The ancestors of humans had not yet walked the earth. The continents were still shifting into their modern shapes, and then the ice moved in. It crawled across the land, a slow-moving mountain of crystal, sealing these waters in a tomb of absolute pressure. For millions of years, while empires rose and fell above, while the first fires were lit by human hands, while cities were built of stone and steel, these lakes remained in total, unshakable silence. How must it feel to be a single drop of water in such a place? To have no ripple, no wave, no reflection. Scientists recently began to wonder if something could survive in that eternal dark. They drilled down, using hot water drills that melt through the ice like a warm needle through wax. They were careful, so careful, not to contaminate this pristine sanctuary with the microbes of our modern world. And when they finally broke through the last few inches of ice and lowered their cameras into the abyss, what they found was breathtaking in its simplicity. They found life. Not the complex creatures of the upper ocean, but something more ancient. They found extremophiles, tiny, resilient organisms that eat the very minerals of the earth to survive. They don't need the sun. They don't need plants. They live off the slow, tectonic energy of the planet itself. Imagine an entire ecosystem, a hidden civilization of microscopic beings, thriving in a world of 400 atmospheres of pressure. It is a reminder that life is not a fragile accident. It is a force of nature that finds a way to exist in the most impossible corners of the universe. As you lie there, feel the stillness of those deep waters. There is no current here. There is no sound. If you were to float in the center of a subglacial lake, you would be in the quietest place on Earth. The weight of the ice above acts as a giant muffler, drowning out the noise of the spinning world. Here, time doesn't move in seconds or minutes. It moves in centuries. A single heartbeat in this place could last 1,000 years. Recently, researchers found something even more mysterious at the bottom of these hidden lakes. They found rivers of sediment, ancient mud that contains the chemical signatures of a world that once was. It is as if the Earth has kept a diary in the dark. By studying this mud, we are learning about the times the planet breathed deeply and grew warm, and the times it shivered and turned to ice. We are finding that the Arctic was not always a frozen wasteland. It was once a vibrant, teeming landscape of wetlands and forests. Imagine walking through an Arctic forest millions of years ago. The air is humid and thick. The trees are tall, their leaves broad and green. You can hear the call of strange, ancient birds and the rustle of reptiles in the undergrowth. All of that life, all of that energy was eventually folded into the earth and covered by the white shroud. And now, as the ice shifts and we peer beneath, we are finding the remnants of that lost world. We found the fossils of a swamp dweller, a creature that looked like a cross between a crocodile and a seal, resting in the cold dark. How must it have felt to be the last of your kind as the world turned white? The ice is a time machine. It doesn't just preserve the shapes of things, it preserves their essence. When we pull up a core of ice from these depths, we are looking at air that was trapped during the last great ice age. If you were to pop one of those tiny bubbles near your ear, you would hear a faint snap. That is the sound of air from 50,000 years ago escaping into the present. It is a whisper from a ghost. As we drift further into the story, imagine the vast networks of rivers that connect these subglacial lakes. Under the ice, there is a hidden plumbing system, a web of waterways that flow through tunnels carved by pressure and friction. This water acts as a lubricant, allowing the massive ice sheets to slide slowly toward the sea. It is a rhythmic, grinding dance. Can you hear it? A low-frequency hum, the sound of a continent in motion. It is the deep bass note of the earth, a sound that resonates in your very bones, lulling you into a deeper and deeper state of relaxation. There is no light here, but in your mind, you can see the beauty of it. The walls of these subglacial caverns are not dull rock. They are often lined with crystals of ice that have grown undisturbed for millennia. They are like giant, jagged diamonds, reflecting the artificial light of a scientist's probe for the first time in history. They are pure, untouched, perfect. The deeper we go, the more we realize that the Arctic is not a void. It is a reservoir of memory. It holds the secrets of our climate, the history of our atmosphere, and the blueprints for life in extreme environments. It is a place of profound wisdom. It teaches us about patience, about the beauty of the dark, and about the incredible strength of things that stay still. You are like that water now, deep beneath the ice. You are shielded from the wind. You are protected from the noise of the day. The pressure of your responsibilities has been replaced by the gentle, supportive weight of your blankets. You are in your own subglacial lake, a private sanctuary of peace and quiet. The world above can continue its frantic pace, but down here, everything is slow. Everything is rhythmic. Everything is safe. Think of the scientists who spend months in the polar night, living in small stations perched on the ice. They look out their windows at a landscape that looks like the moon, but they know that just beneath their feet, a whole hidden world is waiting. They feel the vibration of the ice. They listen to the groans of the shifting shelves, and they feel a deep connection to the mystery. You are connected to it too. As you listen to these words, you are traveling with them, sliding down into the depths, finding the beauty in the shadows. The water in these lakes is ancient, but it is also full of potential. It is the purest water on the planet. It is a reminder of what the Earth was like before we arrived. It is a clean slate. As you prepare to dream, let your mind be like that water, clear, still, and deep. Let the worries of the day settle to the bottom, like the fine silt of the subglacial floor, leaving the water above calm and transparent. We are standing on the threshold of a new understanding. Every year, the ice reveals a little more. We find new lakes, new valleys, new evidence of the Earth's long, long memory. And as we find them, we find a sense of awe that is hard to put into words. It is the feeling of realizing how small we are, and yet how lucky we are to witness the uncovering of these ancient truths. The silence of the subglacial world is now your silence. It is a heavy velvet cloak that wraps around you. There is nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to go. You are simply here, at the bottom of the world, in the heart of the ice, the rhythmic pulse of the hidden rivers, the slow crawl of the glaciers, the steady, unchanging dark. It is all part of the same great rest. You are sinking into it, further and further, until the story of the ice becomes the story of your sleep. The lakes are waiting, the ice is watching, and you are drifting deeper into the quiet beneath the world. As we drift deeper into this frozen narrative, the air around us seems to grow even stiller, and the blue of the ice deepens into a shade of indigo that feels like the very edge of sleep. We are no longer just looking at water and rock. We are entering the vault of the ancient giants. Recently, as the permafrost at the edges of the Arctic begins to soften, the Earth has started to give back what it took thousands of years ago. It is as if the planet is waking up from a long, long dream, and it is showing us the faces of those who dreamt before us. Imagine walking along a crumbling riverbank in Siberia or the Yukon. The ground beneath your feet is spongy. smelling of old moss and cold minerals. And there, protruding from the mud, is a curve of ivory so vast it looks like the rib of a ship. But it isn't wood, it is a tusk, a woolly mammoth, emerging from its tomb after 30,000 years of solitude. Can you imagine how they must have felt, those great shaggy titans of the north, to live in a world of constant wind and moving ice, their massive feet thumping against the frozen steppe? They were the masters of the cold, and yet the cold eventually claimed them. But the Arctic didn't just kill them, it preserved them with a tenderness that is almost haunting. Scientists recently found a mammoth calf, so perfectly kept by the ice that her skin was still soft, her eyelashes still brushed against her cheeks, and the remains of her last meal, wildflowers and tundra grass, were still inside her. It feels less like a fossil and more like a miracle to look into the eyes of a creature that hasn't seen the sun since the height of the Ice Age. It pulls at something deep inside us. It reminds us that time is not a straight line, but a circle. And sometimes the past loops back to touch the present as you settle into your blankets. Think of that calf, resting in the quiet dark for 30 millennia, safe from predators, safe from the changing world, just waiting for the light to find her again. But the mammoths are not alone in this vault. The ice has been holding on to things even older and perhaps more mysterious. Just a few years ago, the melting permafrost revealed a pair of lion cubs, not the lions of the African savanna, but cave lions. They were tucked away in a burrow, curled together as if they were just napping through a long winter afternoon. Their fur was still golden, their tiny claws still sharp. They looked so peaceful, so completely untouched by the passage of time, that it's easy to forget they belong to a world that vanished long ago. How many more of these giants are still waiting? Beneath the ice, you are visualizing, there are graveyards of rhinos with thick, woolly coats, giant bears that could stand 12 feet tall, and horses that ran on the tundra before the first fences were ever built. The Arctic is a museum where the doors are finally being unlocked. And as we walk through these halls, we realize that we are the newcomers. We are the visitors in a realm that has belonged to the giants for far longer than it has belonged to us. Let the scale of this history settle over you like a heavy, warm quilt. You are not just sleeping in a room. You are resting on the surface of a planet that has a very long memory. The ice is the ink with which that memory is written. Recently, scientists have even begun to find the shadows of the first humans who followed these giants. They found a hunter's camp buried deep under the silt, tools made of flint and bone, and the charred remains of a fire that went out 10,000 years ago. Imagine that fire. A small, flickering, orange glow in a vast world of white. Imagine the people huddled around it, telling stories just like this one. Listening to the wind howl outside their leather tents, they looked at the same stars you see. They felt the same cold, and they sought the same warmth and safety that you feel right now. The ice has kept their secrets too. It has held onto their footprints, their tools, and the echoes of their songs. There is something deeply comforting about this, the idea that nothing is truly forgotten. The Arctic is the world's ultimate archive. It doesn't judge. It doesn't discard. It simply holds. It holds the breath of the mammoths, the dreams of the cave lions, and the stories of the first travelers. And as you drift further into the dark, you are adding your own silence to that archive. You are becoming part of the long, peaceful history of the North. The pace of the world is slowing down now, slower and slower, until it matches the heartbeat of a mammoth in hibernation. The ice is thick, the earth is old, and the giants are resting. Can you feel the weight of the centuries? It isn't a heavy weight, it's a supportive one. It is the feeling of being part of something vast and enduring. Recently, researchers even discovered ancient viruses and bacteria that have been frozen for 50,000 years. And when they were warmed up, they began to move again. Life, it seems, is even more patient than the ice. It can wait forever. It can pause its own existence until the conditions are right to begin again. This thought, this incredible resilience, is like a soft light in the darkness. It tells us that rest is not an end. It is a preparation. Your sleep tonight is a pause, a way to gather your strength. Just like the life that waits beneath the frost. The wind outside your window might be cold, but here, in the story, you are tucked into the softest fur of the ancient world. You are walking among the giants, and they are peaceful. They are not the monsters of legends. They are the quiet residents of a frozen kingdom, and they are welcoming you into their rest. The tusks of the mammoths glow faintly in the moonlight. The cave lions stir in their sleep, and the ancient fires of the first humans cast long, flickering shadows against the walls of the ice. Everything is as it should be. Everything is in its place. The vault is closing now. The heavy doors of the permafrost are settling back into the earth. The giants are drifting back into their dreams, and you are drifting with them, deep, deep beneath the snow, past the roots of the tundra grass, into the heart of the frozen time. You are safe. You are warm. You are resting with the giants. The ice is your blanket. The earth is your bed. And the silence is your song. We move now, away from the solid ground and the frozen earth, toward the shifting, groaning edges of the Arctic Ocean. Here, the ice is alive. It breathes with the tides, expanding and contracting, a massive white lung that covers the secret depths of the sea. But as the world warms, this lung is exhaling, and as the ice recedes, it is revealing the skeletons of those who dared to challenge its power. We are entering the realm of the ghost ships, the legendary vessels that sailed into the white and simply disappeared. For over a century, the fate of the Franklin expedition was the greatest mystery in the history of exploration. Two ships, the HMS Erebus and the HMS Terror, vanished into the labyrinth of the Northwest Passage. Imagine the men on those ships, standing on the deck as the ice began to close in. They would have heard it first, a sound like distant cannon fire as the massive floes collided. Then, the slow, agonizing creak of the wooden hulls being squeezed by a force that no human hand could stop. How must they have felt, watching the sun set for the final time before the long, 3-year polar night began? For generations, we searched for them. And for generations, the Arctic said nothing. But recently, the ice finally decided to speak. In the shallow, frigid waters of Queen Maud Gulf, researchers found them. First the Erebus, and then the Terror. And what they found was not a chaotic wreck, but a time capsule of haunting beauty. Imagine a robotic camera drifting through the companionway of the HMS Terror. The water is so cold and so still that the ship looks like it could sail tomorrow. There is glass still in the windows. There are plates neatly stacked on shelves in the pantry, in the captain's cabin. The drawers of the desk are closed, holding maps and journals that haven't been read in 180 years. The silt has settled over everything like a fine grey velvet, protecting the leather of the boots, the brass of the sextants, and the very heartbeat of the 19th century. As you drift closer to sleep, imagine the silence of those cabins. It is a holy kind of quiet. The Arctic didn't destroy these ships. It adopted them. It took them into its cold, dark arms and held them in a state of perfect preservation. When you look at the footage of the wrecks, you don't see death. You see a deep, eternal rest. The ships are no longer fighting the ice. They have become one with it. But the Franklin ships are just the beginning. All across the Arctic, the retreating ice is giving up its prizes. They found the Gjöa, the small ship that Roald Amundsen used to finally conquer the passage. They found whaling vessels from the 1700s, their masts still pointing toward the surface like frozen fingers. Each ship tells a story of human ambition, of the desire to see what lies beyond the horizon, and the ultimate humbling power of the natural world. Think of the Baichimo, a ghost ship that was abandoned in the ice in 1931, for decades afterward. Inuit hunters and sailors reported seeing her, sailing solo through the mist, manned by no one but the wind. She was seen in 1933, in 1939, and as recently as 1969, an iron hull wandering the white wilderness, refusing to sink, refusing to be caught. She is still out there, somewhere, perhaps locked in a floe that hasn't melted yet. A lonely traveler in a world without maps. Let your mind drift with the Baichimo. Feel the gentle sway of the ship as it moves through the slush ice. There is no engine noise, only the soft slap of water against the hull, and the distant, lonely cry of a gull. You are on a vessel of peace, moving toward a destination that doesn't require a clock or a compass. The Arctic is a place where time loses its meaning. In the deep cold, decay is slowed to a crawl. Scientists recently found a message in a bottle left by a researcher in 1959, tucked under a cairn of stones. The handwriting was as clear as the day it was written. They found clothing left behind by polar explorers that still smells of wood smoke and old wool. It is as if the North is saying, "I have kept everything for you. I have forgotten nothing." Imagine the emotional weight of these finds. For the descendants of those lost sailors, the discovery of the ships brought a sense of closure that had been missing for nearly 2 centuries. The ice had held their ancestors' final moments in a frozen grip, and now it was finally letting go. It is a reminder that even the longest, coldest night eventually comes to an end. Even the most hidden secrets eventually find their way to the light. As you feel the weight of your own limbs, think of the heavy anchor of the terror resting in the silt. It isn't a weight of burden, it is a weight of stability. It is the feeling of finally being home. The ships have found their resting place, and so have you. The storms of the day are over. The ice is no longer a threat, it is a sanctuary. The water around the wrecks is crystalline and pure. Occasionally, a Greenland shark, a creature that can live for 500 years, glides slowly past the masts. These sharks might have been swimming in these same waters when the Franklin expedition was still looking for a way through. They are the living witnesses to the history the ice has hidden. They move in slow motion, their hearts beating only a few times a minute, perfectly synchronized with the rhythm of the deep. Match your breathing to that rhythm now, slow, steady, and deep. The ghost ships are fading into the blue mist of your mind. Their stories told, their journeys finished. They are resting in the dark, protected by the cold, cradled by the sea. The ice continues its slow, majestic dance. The stars reflect off the black water, and the silence of the Arctic night wraps around you like a heavy, fur-lined coat. The masts are still, the decks are quiet, and the sea is at peace. You are drifting further and further into the heart of the great white quiet. We leave the wooden hulls of the past behind and sink even deeper, past the reach of the ghost ships, down into a world where the very idea of above begins to vanish. We are entering the bathypelagic zone of the Arctic, a place that was once thought to be a desert of cold and pressure. But as our technology has improved, as we have sent glowing, tethered explorers into the abyss, we have discovered something miraculous. We have found the luminous cities of the deep. Imagine looking out of a thick acrylic porthole into a darkness so absolute it feels like velvet, and then a flicker, a pulse of neon green, a ribbon of electric blue. This is bioluminescence, the language of the deep Arctic. In a world where the sun never penetrates, the creatures have become the light themselves. Recently, scientists discovered hotspots of life under the ice that look like underwater galaxies. Can you see them? Thousands of tiny, jelly-like organisms, siphonophores, that grow to be 100 feet long, trailing glowing tentacles like silk threads through the water. They move with a grace that is hypnotic, a slow, rhythmic pulsing that mirrors the beating of a heart. Imagine how they must feel, suspended in a weightless, timeless void, where the only reality is the gentle pressure of the water and the glow of their neighbors. There is a peace here that exists nowhere else on Earth. It is the peace of the beginning of the world. Recently, researchers found that even in the dead of the polar winter, when the surface is a frozen, lightless wasteland, the life beneath the ice is more active than ever. They found sea butterflies, tiny snails that fly through the water, with transparent wings, performing a delicate underwater ballet in the pitch black. Why do they dance? Perhaps because in the deep, there is no reason to hurry. There is only the flow, only the drift. As you sink into your bed, feel your own weightlessness. Imagine the water supporting you, a cold, clean embrace that washes away the friction of the day. You are drifting like a sea butterfly, moving through a world of soft internal light. The pressure of the world above cannot reach you here. You are below the storms. You are below the wind. You are in the heart of the great, glowing quiet. But the light isn't the only secret. Beneath the deep plains of the Arctic Ocean, scientists have found massive hydrothermal vents, black smokers that belch mineral-rich water into the sea. These vents are like tiny volcanic cities. Around them, life thrives in temperatures that would be boiling if not for the immense pressure. They found translucent octopuses, pale as ghosts, drifting around these vents like guardians of a hidden treasure. How strange it is to find fire and heat at the bottom of the frozen north. It is a reminder that the earth is always warm at its core, that no matter how cold the surface may seem, there is a pulse of energy deep within. You have that same warmth within you. No matter how cold or chaotic the day has been, your core is still. Your heart is steady, and your inner light is burning softly in the dark. The deeper we go, the more the sounds of the world change. Here, the silence is layered. You can hear the singing of the ice far above, a low, haunting moan as the tectonic plates of the frozen sea grind against one another. It sounds like a whale's song, stretched out over miles and years. It is a comforting sound, the sound of a planet breathing in its sleep. Recently, we discovered that the Arctic floor is covered in pockmarks, giant craters formed by the release of ancient gases. These are the breaths of the Earth itself, escaping from the crust after being trapped for millions of years. Each bubble that rises is a messenger from the deep past, carrying news of a world that existed before the ice. As those bubbles rise, imagine them carrying away your thoughts, your worries, your plans for tomorrow. Let them float up and away until they vanish into the ceiling of ice far above. You are here in the luminous city, where the colors are soft and the movements are slow. The neon blues and soft purples of the deep-sea jellies are the only stars you need. They don't flash, they glow, they fade in, and they fade out. A slow, visual lullaby that guides your eyes to close. The water here is ancient. It hasn't seen the surface for 1,000 years. It is heavy with minerals and history, and as you breathe, imagine you are breathing in that same ancient stillness. There is no clock here. There is no schedule. There is only the infinite, beautiful, dark, and the soft, rhythmic pulsing of the life that calls it home. Everything is slowing down now. The glow of the siphonophores is dimming. The heat of the vents is a distant, comforting hum. You are sinking into the silt of the deep plains, a bed of fine, soft sand that has been settling for eons. It is the softest place in the universe. The lights are fading, the water is still, and the city is going to sleep. Deep, deeper, into the blue, past the light, into the velvet dark. You are safe. You are held. You are home. The Arctic is whispering its final secrets to you. And they are all about peace. They are all about rest. We have reached a depth now where even the light of the bioluminescent cities begins to feel like a distant memory. And we find ourselves in the presence of the true elders of the Arctic. These are not buildings or machines, but living beings that have mastered the art of existing in slow motion. We are entering the realm of the Greenland shark and the ancient sponges that cling to the seafloor, the silent sentinels who have watched the world change from behind a veil of ice. Imagine a creature gliding through the darkness, so slowly that it barely seems to move at all. The Greenland shark is a ghost of the deep. It can live for 400, 500, perhaps even 600 years. Think about that for a moment as you settle into the stillness of your room. There is a shark swimming in the Arctic right now that was born before the Great Fire of London, before the Industrial Revolution, before the world became loud. How must it feel to have a heart that beats only a few times a minute, to move through the water with such deliberate, unhurried grace that time itself seems to bend around you? For this creature, a century is just a season. The rise and fall of human empires is nothing more than a faint vibration in the water above as you breathe in and breathe out. Try to match the rhythm of that ancient heart, slow, steady, undisturbed. There is no rush. There is no deadline. There is only the vast, cold ocean and the infinite patience of the shark. Recently, scientists have looked into the eyes of these giants. Their eyes are often clouded by small, bioluminescent parasites that glow like tiny lanterns in the dark. It is a strange, beautiful partnership. The shark provides a home, and the parasites provide a faint, guiding light. It is a reminder that in the harshest environments, no one is truly alone. Everything is connected. Everything supports something else. Just as your bed supports your body, and this story supports your mind as it drifts toward the shore of sleep. And then there are the sponges on the Gackel Ridge at the very bottom of the Arctic Ocean. Researchers recently found massive forests of sponges that are thousands of years old. They look like delicate glass sculptures, intricate and fragile. They feed on the remains of extinct animals that lived millions of years ago, recycling the past to fuel the present. They don't move. They don't hunt. They simply are. They are the ultimate practitioners of stillness. Can you imagine the peace of such an existence? To sit on the sea floor for 3,000 years, watching the silt settle, feeling the slow shift of the currents. The sponges are like the Earth's own meditation. They teach us that there is power in remaining still, that there is a wealth of life to be found in the quiet corners of the world. You are becoming like those ancient sponges now, rooted in your blankets, heavy and calm, letting the world flow over you without needing to catch it. The Arctic is revealing these elders to us now because they hold the data of our past in the layers of a sponge's skeleton or the rings of a shark's eye. We find the record of the ocean's temperature from the Middle Ages. We find the chemical signature of the air from the time of the Vikings. The ice and the life beneath it are a library of everything we have forgotten. Imagine how they must have felt when the first sonar pings of human ships began to echo through their world. A new sound in an ancient silence. But even then, the sharks did not hurry. They simply sank a little deeper into the canyons where the sound couldn't follow. They know that the noise of the surface is temporary, but the silence of the deep is eternal. As you drift, let the noise of your day become like that distant sonar. It is fading now, becoming muffled by the miles of water and the thick, protective ceiling of the ice. It cannot reach you here. You are in the sanctuary of the elders. You are in a place where time has no teeth. The water around you is a deep, comforting indigo. It feels like silk against your skin. You are moving past the glass sponges, past the slow-moving sharks, down toward the very crust of the earth. Everything here is soft. Even the rocks are covered in a fine, powdery dust of stars. Microscopic shells that have been falling from the surface for millions of years. A slow-motion snowstorm that never ends. Think of the layers of that seafloor snow. Each grain is a life. Each layer is an epoch. You are resting on a cushion of 1 billion years. It is the most stable, most certain place in existence. There is no shaking here. There is no change. There is only the deep, rhythmic pulse of the Earth's core, far, far below. The Greenland shark turns slowly, disappearing into the shadows. The sponges filter the water with a rhythmic, silent grace. The world is at rest. 500 years of silence, 500 years of peace. You are borrowing that time now. You are stepping out of the clock and into the forever. The ice is thick, the water is still, and you are safe in the heart of the ancient north. We have reached the end of our descent, the final, quietest layer of the Arctic story. We are no longer travelers or observers. We have become part of the landscape itself. Imagine, the surface is now miles above us, a flickering, silver memory of light. Down here, at the very bottom of the world, the pressure has smoothed away every sharp edge of the mind. There is no past. There is no future. There is only the infinite, velvet present. Recently, scientists discovered that the Arctic floor isn't just rock and silt. In certain places, there are vast gardens of crystals, minerals that have grown in the dark for eons, forming shapes that look like frozen lace. They are untouched. No hand has ever felt them. No eye had ever seen them. Until now. They exist simply for the sake of existing. They are the definition of peace. Imagine resting your mind against that lace, cold, perfect, and still. The Arctic is a cycle that never truly ends. Even as the ice thaws in some places, it is forming in others. It is a constant, slow-motion breath. The water we have been drifting in will eventually rise, caught in the great global conveyor belt, traveling for 1,000 years through the Atlantic and the Pacific, before finally returning to the north to become ice once again. You are part of that great, slow rhythm. You are not a separate thing. You are a drop in that eternal ocean. How must it feel to be so completely held by the earth, to know that the ice is above you like a shield and the deep silt is beneath you like a bed. You are in the safest room in the universe. The secrets we have found, the ghost ships, the woolly mammoths, the glowing jellies, and the ancient sharks. They are all tucked away now. They have told their stories and they have returned to their rest. Imagine the aurora borealis one last time, dancing high above the ice shelf, ribbons of emerald and violet swirling in the thin air. Down here, we don't see the colors, but we feel the energy. We feel the magnetic pulse of the North Pole, an invisible thread that connects the center of the Earth to the stars. It is a gentle pull, a grounding force that tells your body it is time to let go. The weight of your blankets is the weight of the ice, but it doesn't crush. It protects. It keeps the warmth in and the world out. The silence of the Arctic is not an empty silence. It is a full silence. A silence heavy with the dreams of millions of years. As you drift into the final stages of sleep, let those dreams merge with your own. Think of the last ice area, a place where the ice is thickest and oldest. It is a fortress of white. Inside that fortress, everything is still. The air is motionless. The water is crystalline. There is no sound but the faint rhythmic ticking of the Earth's crust. Tick, 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 tick. The heartbeat of the world. Match your heart to it one last time. The story is dissolving now, melting like a single snowflake into the vast, dark sea. The words are becoming shadows, and the shadows are becoming rest. You have traveled through time, through ice, and through the deep. You have seen what lies beneath, and you have found that it is a place of profound, unwavering beauty. The ice is closed, the water is still, the giants are sleeping, the ships are at rest, and the lanterns of the deep have dimmed. You are the ice. You are the water. You are the silence. Good night. Sleep.